right, we're doing God Part 3. We're going to talk tonight about Larry Norman's song, God Part 3. We've already talked about the John Lennon song, God. That's the song that started it all. Then last video, we talked about the U2 song, God Part 2, where Bono was doing a response to John Lennon's song. And now I talked to my brother. I have a fraternal twin, Ed, and Ed told me that he saw online. I didn't see it myself, but he said that Larry Norman, who was a Christian rock, one of the first, like the pioneers of Christian rock back in the 60s. After John Lennon came out with his song God, Larry Norman actually wrote a response, but he never recorded it until 1991 on his album Stranded in Babylon. And this was like 3 years after U2 recorded their song. And I'm going to play a little bit of Larry Norman's song. You can, if you know the U2 song, I played it last video, you can hear how similar the music is, plus the refrain, which is, Bono sings, I believe in love. I believe in God. Okay. That's all. Sorry. That's how we'll play that. Okay, but I want to read the lyrics, okay? Because I read the lyrics to the U2 song. Here we go. God Part 3 by Larry Norman, recorded on his album Stranded in Babylon, 1991, the second track of the album. I don't believe in Beatles. Starts off right away with response to, that's actually what John wrote in his song, I don't believe in Beatles. So they agree with that. They agree about that. I don't believe in rock. It's basically what John was saying too, and also Bono. I don't believe in the cutting edge. Could be talking about the edge, man. That's just journalist talk. I don't believe in the cover story or the gospel chart. I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but Larry Norman was inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame. Not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though. You can easily hit number 1 with a bullet and totally miss the heart. But I believe in God. It's very similar to what Bono sang. I believe in love. Now he is saying I believe in God. Now remember that John Lennon's song does not mention God. It's called God, but he does not say, I don't believe in God. All right. I don't believe in politics while the masses stay unfed, till the leaders change priorities and supply the poor with bread. Now, it's different than what Bono was saying. And, Bono was basically saying, we'd have to look at it again, but Bono definitely has a social conscience, obviously. But anyway, we don't have to go into that part of things. Don't believe in the revolution or the empty words of peace. both Bono and Larry Norman mentioned revolution might be a reference to John's revolution. You can tear all of the governments down, you still won't find release, but I believe in God. I don't believe the papacy when fallible lies are told. If they really want to help the poor, they should sell some of their gold. And I don't believe the Aryans are the master race. If you think that Jesus is white, you'd be surprised to see his face. But I believe in God. Now, first he's talking about the papacy, Catholic Church, and then he's talking about the Nazis, the Aryan race. I don't know what he was thinking there. And I don't know what he meant when, if you think that Jesus is white, you'd be surprised to see his face. He seems to be implying that he has seen Jesus' face, and he's not white. Does that mean he's black? Well, it could be that he's saying that, if you lived in Palestine, he probably was more olive skinned. He was darker complexion. Was he a brother? I don't know what he means there. Don't believe in Esperanto or the dreams of Babylon. Esperanto is language, it's supposed to be a universal language. Babylon, we all know the story of Babel, the Tower of Babel, where all of the languages were, the people, humanity was of one language, and after the Tower of Babel, which was trying to get, build this tower to God confused everyone's language. And, this album is called Stranded in Babylon. Babylon is a way of saying, the devil, the place that the devil rules, basically. That the world, the material world, is a kind of Babylon. If we all spoke the same language, long ago we would have built the bomb. Don't know what he's getting at exactly there, but we'll go on. I mean, we could probably figure it out if we thought a little bit more about it. And I don't believe in money the way lives are bought and sold. And when this world is ended bankrupt, I'm going to walk the streets of gold. It's talking about gold again. The streets of gold, meaning the streets of heaven, are paved with gold. I don't know, but I've been told the streets of heaven are paved with gold. Probably not a reference to Goldman from the U2 song. But maybe it is. Who knows? Because he mentioned gold twice now. Now, just kind of a slight digression. I just heard this Doors song that was released, Paris Blues, where Jim Morrison talks about the streets of gold or something like that in the song too. Anyway, I don't believe in evolution. I was born to be free. Ain't gonna let no paleontologist make a monkey out of me. And I don't believe the devil. I ain't gonna be his slave. Now Bono also mentioned the devil at the beginning of his song. And when I'm finished dying, I'm gonna bust out of my grave. Oh, I. And I. Suddenly he's a Rastafarian here. I. I believe in God. I believe in God. And he ends the song, I believe in God. I believe in God. Now, maybe not, if you're not a true believer as he is, might not be your cup of tea. He's a little preachy, but cool, I think, also. And I think, one of his albums I mentioned that Only Visiting This Planet is in the Smithsonian. He's actually, Larry Norman, he's actually a really good songwriter, and it's worth listening to that album, Only Visiting This Planet. Very, very good songwriting. This song, I think, is also good. It's not too shabby. Now, he's trying to make a point that he's a Christian, and he believes in God, and he believes in Jesus, and he believes in the resurrection of the dead. He believes in that we go to heaven. He doesn't believe in the ways of the world. He doesn't believe in the music industry. He doesn't believe that music. He's taking a dig at the maybe at U2. That was a big band by that point. This song came out just a few years after the U2 song. U2 was one of the biggest bands in the world by that point. Maybe he's taking a dig at Bono. Apparently he didn't want to record the original song that he did, which might have been different than this one. He wrote it after John Lennon came out with his song, but he apparently didn't want to be in conflict with John Lennon. He does mention John and Paul on another song on Only Visiting This Planet. Kind of puts them down in that song. He's a true believer, a true Christian is what he's trying to get across. Now, it comes across, the reason why I think this song and he as an artist didn't, most people have never heard of Larry Norman. I had never heard of Larry Norman before I started to look into this a little bit. I actually wrote a song that I'm hope to finally complete soon. I'm calling it God 3.1, not God 4, but God 3.1, and it's a response to all these songs. and I have another take on things, which is that God is love. I think we can all agree upon love. That's why Bono's song, I think, and I think that's kind of what Bono was getting at, is that he doesn't need to say, I believe in God. Saying I believe in God is not only is it a little preachy, it is a little bit too in your face. It doesn't leave much wiggle room, and it doesn't leave much mystery, and it's not cool in a way, as far as rock music goes, to just be preaching the gospel, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't want to say everyone is entitled to their beliefs and their faith, but as far as like appealing to a mass audience, if you look at rock music is basically coming out of the blues and gospel and African American, or you could say the old Negro spirituals. Man, it's coming out of this deep spiritual longing and existential angst. And then, it's funny that rock music was not it was trying to get away from God. If you put God in a song, it was not considered to be very, marketable. You were going to lose your audience, because rock music was an alternative to what you heard in church. The music, spiritual music. It's a little edgy and a little bit, it's for it's for the other 6 days of the week. After you get religion at church on Sunday, then you got your music for the rest of the week. One of the early songs that used the word God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, they were hesitant to call it that, and to write that song, I think, because I looked into it a little bit, because they thought they were going to lose people. Now, there have been a number of songs about God and Jesus in mainstream rock. One of the great songs is "Spirit in the Sky" by a Jewish guy, actually. That's a song I'm going to talk about at some point. So it's not unheard of, but rock music, for the most part, was trying to get away from God and Jesus and preachiness. And to look and to say that, things are a little bit more complicated and complex. So anyway, this is kind of a long spiel here I'm giving, but I think this is all worth talking about, these three songs, and about can music save your mortal soul? It's one of our first questions. Larry Norman would say no. Only God can. Only Jesus can save your soul. Bono seems to say, love. John Lennon seems to say music can't. Only the love between he and Yoko, the love between a man and woman, or the love between two people, is salvation. That's what he seems to be suggesting. I don't know. How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts? Personally, my song, what I'm getting at with my song is that I think belief, one of the problems is with our beliefs, and belief in and of itself is a limitation. When we say we believe something, yes, it's faith. There's nothing wrong with faith, but it's not the same as knowing. And if you're a mystic, and I would consider myself to be a mystic, you want to know. You want to know with assurance. Now, I think that Bono, I think all three of these guys felt that, when they say believe, they kind of meant know. But in general, believing is not necessarily knowing. Knowing is a different order of understanding. Knowing means experiencing, like experiencing God for yourself, or experiencing the power of love, and knowing that is is everything. So anyway, again, your thoughts, your comments are welcome. Would love to hear from you, especially Ed, my brother Ed. If you do ever watch this video, we've already been talking about it. So would love to hear your thoughts anyway. All right, please like if you liked it. Comment if you like, and subscribe if you like, and rock on.